Alright, I'm not going to be here for the next couple days, so I thought I'd record a video to get you set up and introduced to OnShape. You're going to have to do an assignment called CAD the Tetris Pieces right here. So I want to give you a little bit of an intro so that assignment doesn't seem so big all at first. So you're going to first need to create an OnShape account. Now we already did this in our intro lessons. It's down here on October 20th. It's 10 points. So if you haven't done that, go into that assignment. It'll show you a link to create an OnShape account. You'll have to verify it on your email and get all set up with it. Make sure you submit to get credit for that if you haven't done it yet. But once you've got an OnShape account, you should be able to log in just by going to onshape.com. And in the top right, you'll see the sign in, and you can click there. You can put in your email. My password's saved with my fingerprint. You can then type your password in, and you'll be able to sign in. Now my OnShape here has a lot of files because I've been doing this for a while. You may not have, so you probably won't have any files, but you may have one or two. The first thing you need to know is how to make a new file. To make a new file, you're going to find this button up here that says Create, and you're going to click it. And there's a few different things you could create, but we're going to make a new document today. So for your assignment for the Tetris pieces, you'll be creating a new document. You can just put that title right here. So I might just call this Tetris pieces. Okay, so you always want to name your documents, that way they don't get confusing later on. And just click open, it'll open up the new, click create, it'll create the new file. Alright, so I'm not going to go into the Tetris pieces and how to make them in this video because I've got another video about that. And you can walk through that, but I do want to show you a couple main concepts. The first is kind of the areas of your screen. You've got all your tools along the top. The tools will change depending on what you're doing. So if you're sketching, there'll be sketch tools. Right now we're in the 3D space, so they're 3D tools. Down the left side, you've got all your features. As you create sketches and extrusions and other things, they will appear over here. Down on the left, you'll see an area that says parts. So as we make parts, they'll appear over there. Here on the right, we got the view cube. The view cube's nice because you can click different parts of it and it'll rotate it. So if I click the front of the view cube, it'll rotate everything to the front. I can use my arrows and turn my view. So you can see it's turning these planes that are out there like that. So I can use the view cube to kind of navigate. Other than the view cube, you can also use the right click on a mouse. If I right click on a mouse, I can orbit around my view here. Another nice thing is the scroll wheel on a mouse. You can zoom in and out. So that's the scroll wheel on a mouse. And the last thing is if you click the scroll wheel on a mouse, you can pan side to side. So it's going to be really important how you do that. It's also really convenient if you want to, let's say if I don't want to use the scroll wheel on my mouse to pan, if I want to center this dot in the center of my workspace, I can just zoom out and then put my mouse over that dot and then zoom in. And that will zoom in that area. So that's another good way of doing it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and click the corner of the view cube to give me this corner view. All right. So in OnShape, the main things you're going to do are create sketches and make extrusions. So whenever you make a new sketch, you're going to click this button up here, Sketch. And you can do one of two things. You can either click Sketch and then it'll say select a sketch plane, which maybe I want to draw on the front plane or the right plane or the top plane. The planes are like sheets of paper. All right, they don't actually have any thickness. They're not actually anything. They're just a place to draw. So let's click the front plane. So that's how I'd make a sketch in the front plane. You can see sketch 1 appeared here, and I can see it out here. Now it leaves this box open here, and you want to leave this box open until you're done sketching. When you're done sketching, you'll click the green check mark, and then you'll be out of sketch mode. You'll notice sketch 1's still open here on the left side. So if I want to go in and do more in sketch 1, I can double click sketch 1 and reopen it. Okay. Let me go ahead and delete sketch 1. I'm going to click sketch 1 and press the delete key. Alright, so here's another way you can make sketches. Instead of clicking sketches and selecting the plane, You can also select the plane and then click Sketch, and it will by default make it there. Now you may want to click the front of your view cube so you view it down like that. Okay. So the next thing you can do is start to make features within your sketch. So you've got a line tool, you've got a rectangle tool, a center point circle tool, all these tools. And a lot of tools have actually submenus. So there's multiple lines, there's multiple rectangles, there's multiple circles, multiple arcs, things like that. Let's grab the line tool. When you are working in this space, you'll notice that it'll want to snap to things. So for instance, when I go here, it highlights that origin right there. So if I want to draw a line from the origin, that's good. But if I don't want to draw a line from the origin, I got to be careful. It'll also do things like this. You can see that. The origin is highlighted, but then there's a little sort of dashed line going up. That means that if I start here, it'll be perfectly vertical to the origin. Or over here, it'll be perfectly horizontal to the origin. So I can do things like that. Let's start a line from the center of the origin. So I'm going to click, and now I'm out here. And you'll notice now I can also snap to horizontal, or I could snap to vertical. And so just be aware of what is happening. If I'm trying to make one of the Tetris pieces, let's say I'm trying to make like the L-shaped piece, I probably want to snap horizontal here, click, then move up, and I probably want to snap vertically, click, and make sure this is horizontal, click, go vertical, click, go left. And you'll notice here, look at this. Now it's not only going to be horizontal, but it's going to be vertical from the origin. So I probably want that, click, and come down here like that. So that's one way to do it. Let me undo what I just did. Keep in mind there's always the undo button. When things don't go right, just click undo and try it again. So let's say I didn't do that very well. Let's say I do start at the origin, but then I kind of make a weird L shape like this. Okay, that's kind of sloppy. Well, there's a menu here that's got lots of constraints and rules. There's coincident, parallel, tangent, horizontal, vertical, equal. These are sort of rules for your lines. So if I can click the horizontal rule, and now if I click a line, it becomes horizontal. Let's go find the vertical one. Vertical. Just like that. So I can also apply rules if I miss them when I'm trying to do stuff. You'll notice that some of these lines are starting to change color. The blue lines are lines that are not fully constrained. So if I don't have any tools selected, let me unselect my vertical tool, and I grab something that's blue, I can move it. But you'll notice this black line, I can't move it up and down. And the reason is because I said that it needs to be horizontal to the origin. It needs to be a horizontal line, and it needs to be through the origin. So I can't move it up and down, which is why it went black. My goal is to make all of the things black because they'll be fully constrained. So this blue piece here, the problem is it can move right and left. So I'm going to show you another tool here. It's called Dimension. Dimension is a very powerful tool. It has a shortcut, which is the D key, so you can always do that as well. But I'm going to click Dimension, and you can dimension a few different ways. The easiest way is to click the thing you want to dimension, like a line here. So let me click, and you'll notice that you don't see anything. But if you move your mouse down, you'll see it appear. And then if you click again, it will set down that dimension. And now it'll give you an opportunity to type it in there. So let's say I wanted this to be maybe 6 inches. There you go. I can do that with my left side here. Let's make this one 9 inches. Let me zoom out. Okay. Another way to dimension, instead of just clicking the thing you want to dimension, is to click 2 things and dimension between them. So for example, this dot I can click, and then I can click this dot, and now I'm dimensioning between them. Let's make this 3 inches. I can do the same thing with lines. So I can click this line, and it looks like it's dimensioning this line, but now I'm going to click this line, and now it's dimensioning between them. So let's make that 3 inches as well. You can see now everything is black and everything's fully defined. If I start to add more dimension, it's actually not going to like that because I don't need dimensions on everything. So I don't need to say that this top piece is 3 because I know that the bottom is 6 and this is 3, so this must also be 3. If I try to dimension this and type in 3 inches, see how it goes gray? It's saying, hey, I'll label that for you, but that's not actually a rule. The rules are right here, the ones there. Okay. Sometimes you'll dimension something or over dimension it. Let me see if I can find another one. Maybe I dimension an angle. So to dimension an angle, I can click one side, and then I can click the other, and I can go right here, and I can say I want that to be 90 degrees. Ooh, now it went red. So it goes red when it says, hey, you've put too many dimensions on here. There's too much stuff going on. So let me undo the last thing I did. And I can take those off. I don't need to overlay dimension. Okay? When you're done sketching, you can click the green check mark, and there's your sketch. You can see there's sketch on the left side. If you pan around, you can see, or orbit around, you can see there's your sketch in 3D space. It's in 3D space, but it's flat. It's completely flat. All right? It doesn't have any thickness at all. Now, if you did a good job with your shape, you'll notice it grays in, because that means it's fully bounded. So there's walls on all sides. Now that allows me to do something else. I can click the area, don't click the line, click the area on the inside, and there's another tool over here called extrude. This is only a tool you can use when you're not sketching. So I finished sketch 1, now I can use extrude. I'm going to click extrude, and you'll notice, look, it sticks out. And I can adjust how far it sticks out with this menu. So there's a lot of settings here within extrude. I'm not going to mess with a lot of them, but I'm just going to go ahead and change the depth of the extrusion to 3 inches. There, that's looking like one of my Tetris pieces. Now I believe in the assignment I want them to be different dimensions. So listen in the assignment for the rules, but that's what I expect. If you ever want to change your mind about stuff, say you want to make this L piece taller, I can reopen sketch 1. Double click it. I can double click this here and change from 9 to 12 inches. That'll make the L piece higher. And you'll see it'll fix it like that. Or maybe I want to make it thinner. Instead of 3 inches, let's make it 1.5 inches on the extrusion. And there it is. Okay. Now there's a lot of buttons you can press. There's a lot of ways to get lost in here. So be careful what you click. You can always unclick things. If I've got a tool selected, I'm open a menu, I can click the red X to get out of it. Or if I'm in sketch mode and I've got a tool selected and I don't know what it is, what tool that is, I can just press escape. It'll deselect all my tools. Okay? Like I said, you can always also do the undo command to go back. Or worst case scenario, you can go back to the main menu and you can create a new document. Okay? So those are just some basics that'll probably, hopefully, get you through the assignment to make the Tetris pieces. And that's all I've got for you right now.